Hey, peace and blessings to you. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you, and so is this wonderful young lady we're going to have a wonderful conversation with. She's a wonderful young lady, wonderful conversation. Her name is Barbara Ward. She is an incredible singer-songwriter. Her music is just like, wow. I mean, she writes folk music, rock and roll, standards, and blues. She's also the founder of Grammy Granny. Can you say that three times fast? Grammy Granny, which creates inspirational, positive, and healing songs with great messages to help listeners find their inner voice of spirit. We're going to talk about all of that, talk about her incredible life story, and introduce her to the EntreMusician because she's one too. Barbara, how you doing, dear?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. It's been a challenge so far to get
Yes.
here, but it's all working out.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time out to, deal with all the technical little, bubbles that we've walked through. But it is my honor to have you on the show. I have admired
Uh,
you from afar. In full transparency, we were part of the same mastermind group, but never dialogued directly until recently. And I'm so grateful for your spirit when you ask specific questions as you're on a quest to continue to build your wonderful company. It intrigued me, so I just had to ask you on.
it's really my honor to be with you, Jerry. I just think you are one of the coolest and most spiritual people I know, and we connect on that level very deeply.
Absolutely. 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 Well, you have a wonderful story, but I think what I want to do is work backwards because I was intrigued by the Grammy Granny concept. So it seems like a lot of words, but it's coming from your spirit, inspirational, positive, healing songs that you write specifically for infants, toddlers, and you engage with parents and other grandparents as well, correct?
I actually cross all the age groups. Granny Grammy started because I feel I'm on the senior level of songwriting, and I come from a place of understanding certain aspects of life that maybe some other people don't pay attention to, or they do, but I chose to write about it. And it's always leading the listener, however young or old they are, to a place that's deep within their heart where they can ask the questions of themselves and get in touch with their higher spirit.
Understood. Well, now
So,
you were asking one of the questions that I found really intriguing. You were asking Isabella. We'll give Isabella Bedoya a shout out, but you were asking her, have you listened to some of the nursery rhymes of the past generation? And kind of, you were bringing up the aspects of how harmful they were. Remember?
yes, yes, yes. In the class with Isabella, who is
Yeah,
brilliant,
she is brilliant.
I kind of stumbled upon my alter ego, Granny Grammy, which she thought was very cool. And I thought, hey, you know what? Yeah, I have pearls of wisdom,
Yeah,
to share. And I thought it would be great to help people write their own lullaby for their children, because what better way to get a positive message into a child that's very young?
yeah,
When I researched the lullabies, and even the ones that I was sung to as a child, they're very dark and harmful. And I don't agree with that.
yeah,
I used to make up songs for my own kids and try and give them a positive outlook and a positive kind of mantra, to
yeah,
live by.
yeah.
And
Wow.
that's what I hope to do in my other work, my Barbara Ward music work, is to give people something to grab onto in the hook that resonates
Yes,
on a
ma'am.
deeper level than just "ooh baby."
I, I completely understand that now. I don't want to be presumptuous at all, but I would assume that you yourself are a grandmother. Can I make that assumption? or
Not biologically.
I
My
see.
I I started having a family very late in life. I
Mm-hmm.
almost missed out, and my kids are not married. They're not
Mm-hmm.
ready to be married.
Gotcha.
But I inherited three beautiful grandchildren that are
Mm-hmm.
now 12, 11, and 10.
I see. I
And
see.
I've known them for 7 years. I'm the only grandmother they're ever going to know, and take it very seriously. So I try to teach them music
Mm-hmm.
and my philosophy whenever I can.
Right, right. Absolutely. Now, do you have a playlist of songs that parents and grandparents can sample as they're walking through this flow? They get that from GrammyGranny.com, right?
Yes, they do. They get it there. And, I hope to keep adding more and more to Spotify or my playlist and releasing more songs as I go along. It's the technology, and social media is new for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been very challenging with Isabella to keep on top of it. And it's like, every step of the way, I have to investigate and look up and Google and
Yeah.
learn. So it's keeping my mind young.
Absolutely. Well, I think Isabella is a person that she transcends the generations because I'm a step back in a generation from yours, and the thing about it is I found there were many things that I was struggling with as far as marketing was concerned. But we're going to give her a proper shout out because it's the Fame Hackers, and depending on whatever your age is, she transcends cultures, genres, and generations. Isabella Bedoya may just be for you because, Barbara and I found a lot of value in her coaching. You would agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that music in general has the ability to transcend generations. I
That's
mean,
right.
that's obvious when you go and listen to music or a jam session. And
Yeah.
last night I was at a blues jam session,
Hmm.
and there was a little boy in the brewery who was probably 7 or 8 years old playing the drums.
Oh,
And
wow.
just all these other musicians that are my age and a little younger, were just grooving along with him and giving him the confidence to move on. So
Wow.
Isabella, Isabella does that. She transcends and brings you from wherever you don't know any technology
Yes.
to the current state of affairs.
That is absolutely right. Well, you have to tell us how did you get started in music? When did you know? When was the moment that you said, "This is my life"?
Oh, that was at a young age. That was at a real young age.
Like the little boy in the brewery last night, huh?
Yeah, I would say maybe a year or two older than him. I knew I wanted to do music. I wanted to be able to play the piano, and I wanted to nourish that part of myself and express that part of myself. And it just blossomed from there, from piano to guitar and, back to piano and now to, a studio setup doing music production.
Yeah.
So it's a learning process. You know that, Jerry.
It is a learning process. But so what happened for you first? Was it the actual playing of music or was it words just being downloaded in your spirit and you begin to write them down or
Yeah, I
how
think
did that
probably
process go?
I think the guitar kind of opened me up because it's pretty hard to cart a piano around with you. So when I got the guitar, I learned a couple of chords and, built up the calluses on my fingers. And then I
Mm,
just started composing because it was just easier.
yeah.
And I found that the instrument embraced a different area of my voice,
Mm,
to be gentler, I guess, or, softer. And so
mhm.
that's when I started writing. I would say it was probably around 15 I wrote my first song.
Do you remember what the name of it was?
It was called Let's Make Something Happen.
Mm, yeah.
And it was like, let's make something happen. Let's cease to wait. For tomorrow may never come and yesterday is too late.
Oh, wow.
And and so it was a call for not only me to move forward, but anybody else that was listening. And I got some very positive responses from that. I put on a concert after I graduated from high school, I put on a concert at a church,
Wow.
and there was a teacher, an English teacher from my high school who was there, who came up to me and said, "That is some of the best poetry I've ever heard," which shocked
Wow.
me, you know.
That's
So it
amazing.
kind of encouraged me to keep going.
Did you record that first song?
I did. I have it somewhere on a little cassette, But I did record another song. I had a friend in high school who was actually related to John Bon Jovi,
Oh,
Anthony
wow.
Bon Jovi,
Uh-huh.
and in high school he had probably $150,000 worth of equipment in his basement, and he heard me and asked me to come over and record a song, which I did, and he pressed on a 45 record, and it was great.
Wow. That's excellent. And I'm sure that was a motivation for you to continue to go and grow and grow and grow, right?
And exactly, it's like, as an artist, you need those kudos, you need that, somebody
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Oh, I never heard those, felt that way before." And
Yes.
you made me feel something that is inside me, and I just, I love you for that. So,
Yeah.
of course, artists
Yeah.
all need love.
Absolutely. Now tell me, were you listening to someone, or were there artists at the time who were influencing you as you were going and
Yes, of
forging?
course, it was folk music and all those old folk songs and Joan Baez, and then it was Donovan, and
Wow.
it just went on and on from there. But I resonated with that uh, theme, you know,
Hmm.
and I just
Your own
want
individuality was coming through, right?
right.
Yeah,
I just wanted to keep going. It's just something I can't walk away from it.
that's right.
And in one of my other classes, they said, people will say, "Are you still doing that music?"
Mm.
Until you get a hit song. And then they think, "Oh my gosh, they're really a professional."
That's right.
So,
That's
but
right.
when it's in your heart and in your spirit, none of that stuff really matters. That's why business is so, you
True.
know,
True. Now,
because
you went to school formally though for the business portion of music. Is that right?
I went to school for music privately for many years.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school to college and studied and was on the dean's list, I might add, which that
Yes.
never happened before. you know, and it was hard work. And, you know, I, and now Isabella is teaching me how to use the social media,
Mm-hmm.
and it's daunting, but we need to do it. We need
That's
to
right.
stay current.
Absolutely. Well, with regard to that, I'm going to go back to something you said. What is your definition nowadays of a hit song? I mean, what the heck is a hit song
Well, okay. I
now?
I I wrote a song, co-write with a man in Sweden, and it was top lining to his tracks. And he took it he has a mentorship program that he's in. He took it there, and they loved it. So I sent it over to my friend Bobby Owsinski,
Oh,
and
Bobby.
I said, "Hey, Robert, can you just listen? You have a few minutes to listen to this song and let me know what it needs in the bridge." So I said, "I think it needs a guitar solo. Who knows?" So he wrote back and said, "This is a hit song, Barbara." So he seems to think it is, and I do too. So,
Wow. So
and
that's great. If it doesn't sell 12 million copies, but Bobby says it's a hit song,
that's right.
we're gonna trust
It's
Bobby.
exactly. And it's a song about, being all wrapped up in your work day and everybody else needing you, and the only thing that you want to do is get home to that person that you love and feel
Hmm.
their arms around you.
Oh, wow.
And it's a universal idea. It was sparked by my children actually, because when I used to be outside of the house working and my kids were babies, and I just wanted to get home and get my arms around them because they were the ones that made it all worthwhile.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I
I think
completely
I
understand.
think that's a universal truth.
Yeah, I do. I completely understand that. It's amazing because when our band was really rolling and on the escalator was the time that back in 2008, decided to come off the road, which, in some aspects may seem like a foolhardy ideal, but my mom had passed. And my kids, they were babies too. And I was calling from different hotel rooms and whatnot saying, hey, put Nia on the phone. Hi, Nia, this is daddy, that type of thing. And it's like, man, when my mom passed, it was like, I knew my mom. I want my children to know me. And so I really started pouring myself into production more because I could be around the house. So now we're empty nesters and I can get back out there. But you do want that. You do want that connection with
And
your
it could be
children.
just someone that you love,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, hey, my day is like a whirlwind of stuff that I don't really want to do, and my life is fading away. And
Yes.
all I want to do is get home and, it's called When Day Is Done. And I hope to release it pretty shortly if I can get my guy in Sweden to move. It's been hanging around. It's been hanging around for a year.
Wow. So what is it?
Yeah.
Your lyrics, his music, or kind of a
It
combination
was
of both?
his tracks,
Uh huh.
and I wrote the lyrics and the melody. So,
Excellent.
and I actually pulled the song apart and made it into a song, you know?
Very cool.
Yeah, so I can work with a little snippet and then make it into a verse, chorus, bridge, whatever,
Flesh it
and
out.
flush it out,
Yeah.
and then add the melody, the top line, and the lyrics.
Wow. Well, we have to talk about Bobby a little bit. You brought Bobby's name into the conversation. He's a hero of mine. I hope when you talk to him again, you'll tell him, hey, I know someone who has your workbook. You know what I mean? I have them both. Bobby is like, I listen to his podcast. Look at that. Check that out, Bobby. Yo.
Okay, now here's the truth. What page are you on?
Oh my gosh, I am just in chapter 2. I'm
Oh,
just yeah, but I'm one of those guys that, because I have the workbook, I'm listening to the tracks and I'm trying to recreate, the session and do everything. The problem with me is that my room is not well done, obviously.
yes,
So,
I
some of the
get it.
acoustics are what they are. But by God's grace, I've been able to release music, and not many people have come back, from the CD or from the download or the stream and going, dude, that bites, So I'm getting there.
Well, yes, you had a song that went to that you mixed that went to the top 10 or something,
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah, it was in a Billboard
So
contemporary jazz chart. So
there you go.
grateful.
There you go. I years ago I had songs that record companies wanted to catapult their female artist with, and I was told to keep them for myself, and then I found out I was linked up with a song shark.
Oh, oh
So
boy.
I never pursued those single rights that I did the solo rights to sell them. And I often wonder what my life would be like now had I done that. I guess I just didn't listen to my intuition.
It's amazing, but every day gives you a new journey, and you have a catalog of great songs that you can still market accordingly. And I believe you will.
I hope so. I mean, I do. I have a whole book of stuff that doesn't have any background tracks, and that's the reason why I'm doing production, so I can not release them with my own, production or
Yeah,
mixing
yeah.
expertise, but get them to someone who can actually do that.
No, that's excellent. But now you have look at what you have behind you. I don't know if I could get a close up of that where I'm but you have some rocking equipment behind you to
Yes,
your right.
I have a husband that is very supportive of me and my music,
Hmm.
and because he doesn't know what to buy me, because he buys me music equipment, so it's perfect, you know.
That's
And
fantastic. So what are you rolling with technically? I mean, what's your DAW of choice, and
I
what's your equipment?
I stopped using Pro Tools, which I started with,
Hmm.
because I just was, I'm not into like paying a monthly fee.
Subscription, yeah.
Yes, I'm retired
Hmm.
and limited in my funds, and so I got the Logic Pro X,
Excellent.
and that's what I use. And it's been a real challenge to kind of get to where I'm at so far, because it's like the learning curve. You
Mm,
switch, and everything's in a different place, and every time I
yeah.
want to do something, even simple,
Hmm.
I have to go Google it or watch YouTube.
Yeah. Right. Right. Well, do you
But
have like because everything can be either mouse based or they have controllers with it. Do you have an external controller that you
I
use?
don't have it. No, and that's the next thing I'm looking at.
Hey
Go ahead.
husband, hey husband.
There you go. He got me the Scarlett package, with the headphones
Right.
and the microphone,
Yeah.
and then he got me the microphone behind me,
Uh
which
huh.
is the SM something or other,
Yeah.
which is perfect. And then you go, okay, I need something to accelerate the sound, so I had to get the iCloud
Uh
to
huh.
accelerate the sound.
Understood.
And I have several keyboards, and I even have a guitar.
Is that right?
I
Excellent.
do. It's pretty,
Real
you know,
George Duke type.
there you go. And, in my other house, I have a grand piano and I have a weighted key. You just collect all kinds of stuff. I have two PA systems and, you know,
Man,
multiple microphones.
that's
It
beautiful.
is what it is.
Hey, here that's how we roll though. That's exactly how we roll. I have stopped buying plugins. I have resolved that 1,200 plugins is enough. And if I can't make a record with 1,200 plugins, then something's wrong with
Yes,
me. Because you
I
go
get
back to the Joan Baez, you go back to Bob Dylan, of course, you go back to the Beatles. These are 4 and 8 tracks that we're
it.
talking about of just organic soul. You know what I'm saying? And so without
Right.
the mega delays. So that's what I'm learning in my life.
Sorry, my
Yeah.
dog is barking.
Quite all
Hold
right.
on. Chopin.
Chopin. Excellent.
Yeah.
Absolutely excellent. So tell me this, and here's a question I wanted to ask, and it was based on again a dialogue I was observing as we were in our master class between yourself and Isabella. But what do you think has been the greatest challenge, not just with regard to learning the new technology or learning the new marketing strategies, but just as a songwriter, just as Barbara Ward, what has been the most dynamic challenge that you've had to overcome?
Well, I'm still trying to overcome it. It's
Okay.
it, I guess the challenge is that I don't think my story is that interesting. However, I think people like to hear my story. I just I find it hard to come up with content. Hmm.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, well, can we go just a level deeper? And why don't you tell us your story?
Which one?
Well, the story you're having trouble with, the story that you don't think is so interesting.
Well, it's the story of me. On a daily basis, I struggle just like everybody else, and um, I find it hard to be in some social atmosphere. I prefer to be by myself doing my music. Just I could spend hours here, and that's not really good. You need to get out and meet people, and sometimes just people just fall into my life, like you. You know, and
Gratefully.
I really enjoy it. I enjoy speaking to you about what I've done and what I hope to do. but I find that very difficult to just sit in front of a camera and just start talking. I'd prefer to have somebody ask me questions. Maybe that's what I need to do, pose questions to my followers and say, "What do you want to know about me?"
That's
That may
interesting.
open, yeah, that may open the doors.
That's very
See,
interesting. But you
you're
have
gonna
such deep lyrics. I mean, your lyrics are very. I hate to continue to use the word organic, but you're a critical thinker. You are in touch with your emotions, and they come out in your songs. So that's interesting that you would think that, well, my story, Barbara, is not very interesting when you have these lyrics that make others think.
I
My
my
assessment.
my my take on lyrics and songwriting comes stems from when I was studying lyric writing at UCLA, and I had the opportunity to engage with Yip Harburg for a short period during a 60-minute show that they were doing on him
Hmm.
in the class of songwriters. And he was begging the people at that time to please write songs that have deep meaning and, the reveal what's going on during this time in your life rather than some of the stuff that's very prevalent today.
Yeah.
So I my thinking on lyric writing is to try and make it as simple and as clear as possible. I
Hmm.
try to use the least amount of words to get my point across.
Yeah.
And maybe and I try to dig deep, you know? I
I can
try to
hear that
dig.
though. I can hear the deep digging.
And like I said, earlier, it's always to engage the listener to dig deeper inside of themselves to discover something, either a feeling that maybe they forgot they were even having,
Mm.
or or being able to see themselves in a different light, because I see myself in a different light through my song.
Understood. Well, you've also, and we've talked about this before, but you've also overcome some very, difficult situations with regards to your health, and you've persevered.
Yes, yes.
So, do you
There was
write about any of that? I mean,
I
any of that come out?
um well, I'm having a heart attack, yak, 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 yak. No. So I think somebody already did that song.
Understood.
Um,
Understood.
I went through a period of really high stress in my life where I
Hmm.
nearly lost everything that I worked for, and spent kind of 3 years internally reviewing why that happened to me.
Hmm.
And during that time, I wrote a lot of spiritual songs. Um, and then, well, before that, I had a heart attack. After that, it was after that, sorry, after that period of stress, I had what's called the widowmaker.
Oh,
And I wasn't diagnosed with the widowmaker. I was diagnosed with broken heart syndrome because I didn't have any other blockages in my veins. So
oh
there
my.
was no other diagnosis they could give me. And that kind of fits perfectly. And then had another one a couple of years ago. So I really shouldn't be here. This is a gift.
Yes, ma'am.
And, a doctor friend said, it takes most people out if you
Mm.
have the widowmaker. And so I'm here and I'm still trying to do my thing, trying to get my message out any way that I can, because I
Yeah.
do believe I have a message.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And whatever I can do to continue to prod questions at you in both this conversation and those to come, I will do it. I will do my part.
You know what? You're a spiritual healer. I love that
Thank you.
about you.
Thank you. Thank you. I just try to do my part, and I mean that wholeheartedly. But I wanted to ask you, Barbara, the most, since we're talking about the deeper things and the difficulties, there have been times of incredible celebration as well with your music and in your career and in life. What do you think has been that one apex that has really been, this is the hallmark of why I do what I do?
I think it was when somebody said to me, "You've given me the confidence for me to pursue music." Listening to you and here playing your guitar and singing your heart out, it's something I've always wanted to do, and I see you doing it. I want to do it.
Wow.
And I think that's what people feel. That's why we have so many people who want to do music.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to be transformative. You want to actually change people's lives.
Hmm. And sometimes it's just one person at a time. It's maybe it's not an audience, or a big arena. Maybe it's just that person that stops by in your world, and you somehow give them a gift that they
Yeah.
then can carry for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
And and maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. you know just
It's amazing you keep using the word maybe.
well, I'm not
I
sure.
think
I'm not sure what my purpose is. Are you?
I think when I listen to your music, and just to be completely transparent, I think when I listen to your songs and the playlist that you have on actually both websites, but specifically Barbara Ward, I think you are on this incredible journey that you set up these tent pegs with your lyrics where you've found something solid that you can cling to, but you continue to travel on this journey, and I just see that sense of adventure
Wow.
when I well, that's you asked. So that's that's what I gather that your purpose is.
See, now you just explained my purpose to me.
We
you
made
know,
history on the Entre Musician. See,
there you go. There you go. I just, I love that when people tell me, "Oh my gosh, you really just, you knocked it out of the park. Like
yeah,
you gave me something really to think about."
yeah,
And that's really, I had to think about it, and I had to think about it a lot. And sometimes I had to live that journey that was
wow,
really painful in order to write about it and find some sort of positiveness in it. I
absolutely.
kept here's the funny thing. I said something to someone the other day, and they said, "Yeah, I just keep going through that lesson over and over again." And I said, "I did that too." And I said, "You know what came to me one time when I asked, why am I going through this?" And what I got was, "You don't need to go through this lesson, but you're providing it for someone else."
Wow,
And I was like, "What?"
that's
I
amazing.
can't do that anymore. It's too hard.
That's
No, no.
amazing.
Yeah, give me a different lesson. I can't
It's
keep doing.
amazing. That's amazing. There's a spiritual principle to that for sure. I mean, in selected passages of scripture, the Apostle Paul makes a statement in First Corinthians where he says, "These things have been written for our example." They've been written for us, so we're watching the stories of other people's lives. Choose any biblical character, whether they would be, I don't know, Abraham or Joseph or Noah. Pick one, and you watch the travail, you watch the victory, you watch the challenges, you watch how they overcome either within their own selves or by power of Holy Spirit, and you go, okay, well, because they could, I can. And again, going back to your lyrics, and look, my nose is brown enough. I don't have to say anything I don't mean. But going through your lyrics, it's like, okay, she's on an adventure. Here is a statement that she's made, which is foundational for someone's next chapter. But again,
Mm,
it keeps moving forward. It keeps going on. There's new adventures, new journeys, new opportunities to explore. And it seems
mm.
like you're navigating.
Well, I'm
So
trying to navigate my own life, and sometimes that's very difficult.
it is.
And
I agree.
if somebody can hop along the soul train, you know, I'll take them with me.
There
I'm
you go.
sure.
The Soul Train. I like that. Oh, that's absolutely excellent. Well, I'm so grateful. I really am that you chose to spend this time with us here at the Entre Musician. I mean that wholeheartedly. I want people to check your music out. I want them to
Thank
go to both places, not just one. Go to barbarawardmusic.com. Go to Grammy Granny. Say that 3 times fast again. I can't.
Oh, Granny, Granny,
GrammyGranny.com.
GrammyGranny.com. And,
Do that.
yeah, and, I am both people. It's not like
Yeah,
one or the other. I am both Grammy
that's right.
Granny and Award.
And Barbara Ward. And you will find though when you will find great, healthy, positive healing music. I think you set that description up on your website very, very well because if that's
Oh,
what you're looking for, that's absolutely what you're going to find.
yeah, the left of center gospel music.
I like it. I really do. I like it a lot.
If
And I
you've got
like you, Barbara. You
Oh,
are a
I
good
like
friend.
it
Thank
too.
you.
You are
Thank you
you
so
know what?
much.
I hope if you wanna come to California anytime, you're more than welcome in my home with your wife, your
Thank you.
kids,
Thank you.
it'd be great. It'd be super.
Absolutely, we can be spoiled on the beach. So if you're anywhere near water, we love it.
Yes,
We'll fly
yes,
out.
yes. Look at okay, you need to look at Oceanside, California, and you need to look at Ventura,
Mm,
California,
yeah,
and, they're both by the water.
excellent. Well, I'll have to convince my wife. She's doing well here in our little um, hamlet in Ohio. She's a realtor here, so I don't know if she wants to pick up her tent peg and learn California real estate law, but
So,
we'll see.
yeah, I was in it for a while, and my sister's been in it for 30 years, I think,
Hmm.
I told her to sell. I didn't want to deal with my husband on the sale of our last house, so I said, "You need to do it." It was too stressful last time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Well, thanks again, though, Barbara. I mean, honestly, you've made my day, and I appreciate any opportunity to talk to you. I know on Thursday I'll see you again because we'll be in class together, and
well,
I'll be taking notes as you ask questions.
okay, Jerry, I want to say you've made my day too. Do you see this smile?
My
It's been
pleasure.
great.
My absolute pleasure. Blessings to you and blessings to you. I really appreciate you joining us, and I do absolutely want you to check out Barbara's music. You will find what I said to be absolutely true. This lady is continuing a journey, and she has some very foundational truths that she writes about, as you understand from her own experiences. And you and I can learn and grow together. My name is Jerry B. I am the EntreMusician. Barbara Ward is an EntreMusician, but most importantly, so are you. We will absolutely see you next time. God bless.